Melissa's story, then. Throughout the video, photos are shown of Melissa, her husband Tim, her biological children, daughter Tyler and son Warren, her adopted sons David and Emilio, and several other friends and family.
Tim and I were married 19 years and had our biological daughter, 17-year-old Tyler, and son, 12-year-old Warren, when our adopted sons David and Emilio, ages 6 and 3, came to us. Tim and I have always considered adoption, as I was adopted myself from foster care. The boys are full siblings and had lived in foster care together. After a stressful transition complicated by the efforts of another family wanting to adopt them, our boys moved December 16, 2000 to our home. Under a cloud of tension, I think this was an unfortunate way to begin their lives in our home. The boys have made remarkable progress, but have struggled with academic issues and sensory problems. Over the years, my husband and I have benefited from post-adoption resources. We have attended trainings, read books, and watched videos. I have taken many articles to my children's schools to inform them about educational issues with adopted children, as well as more productive ways to teach children exposed prenatally to drugs and alcohol. It is amazing how much education is needed in our community about these children. What has been a clear need for David has been his use of physical outlets for his emotions. He has done well in many sports activities, including football. I asked him once why he liked football, and he said, "Because I can hit people." As a junior, he is maturing and seems to be focusing on what he wants to do in the future. Emilio's struggles have been more profound. ADHD and anxiety disorder require him to have an individual education plan. Each day is a challenge. Tim and I have spent a significant amount of time at school advocating for him. If his teachers could just look past his behaviors, they would see a kid with an entertaining sense of humor who lives his life in the present. Something we could all do more of.
We would like to thank our family and friends for all their support. Special thanks to ORPARC for their education and training. This story was created in a digital storytelling workshop sponsored by the National Resource Center for Permanency and Family Connections at the Silberman School of Social Work at Hunter College and funded by the Children's Bureau, Administration for Children and Families, U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Award Number 41482-00-11, in collaboration with Voice for Adoption, VFA, and Oregon Post-Adoption Resource Center, ORPARC. Melissa's story, now.
Part 2 of our adoption story begins in 2012, where we last left off. We were just a few years away from the biggest shifts to happen to our family since welcoming the boys, David and Emilio, into our home. David worked hard to graduate high school on time, despite some bumps in the road. David was popular with coaches, with friends, and created bonds with his teachers. I have a powerful memory of him walking by his teachers at graduation as they gave him high fives. David was determined to get a job. We tried reassuring him he could stay with us as long as he needed, but I was never convinced he believed us. He seemed most concerned with how to take care of himself as he turned 18. I think those early years of living in foster care remain embedded in his subconscious, but they don't have to dictate his success or failures. David continued working, eventually meeting his girlfriend, Catalia. In 2017, they lost their first baby, Zion Matias, due to a stillbirth. After a short mourning, baby Mia was born in 2018. David and Kat are young, but show their love and commitment to Mia. Both are pursuing careers. David is a plumber's apprentice, and Kat is in nursing school. Emilio's last 8 years have been much more complicated. His struggles started before birth with early substance exposure and then neglect. After his educational supports fell apart at the end of 9th grade, we tried homeschooling, unsuccessfully. Emilio lived mainly through online relationships with a few friends in the community. Unfortunately, through unhealthy contacts, Emilio began using illegal drugs. Eventually, police involvement led to an out-of-home placement. Through all of this, Emilio found and received some extra services he needed. Not long ago, he left his adult group home to reconnect to his birth family. He continues to stay connected to us, but it's a struggle for all of us to resolve the past and live this birth family reconnection reality. Life and logic are hard for Emilio. He is doing his best and tends to find a way to muddle through life. Adoption pushed us to the edge and beyond, and was worth it.
Tim and I would like to thank our children, Tyler, Warren, David, and Emilio, and our friends and family for their support, Grant High School teachers and coaches, Oregon Post-Adoption Resource Center for access to education and support, Kendra, Joan, and the Capacity Building Center for States team for their assistance in helping us put our story together. These stories were created in a digital storytelling workshop held at Oregon Post-Adoption Resource Center. We would like to thank the staff for their support. This product was created by the Capacity Building Center for States under contract number HHSP 2332-0150-0071I, funded by the Children's Bureau, Administration for Children and Families, U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Logos for the Children's Bureau and the Capacity Building Center for States.